We're live.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Fury Brick Road. I am coming to you live from this weird cloud space. My name is Della Collins, and I will be GMing this fantastic adventure. With me today, we have. I don't know where we are on the actual map, so I'm not going to gesture, but I have Andy, who
Hello.
you may know as the GM from Two Headed Serpent. We have Joe Gates, who is also part of Two Headed Serpent. We have Bedlam, who is new, though you may know him from his Doom streams that he posts on Live from the Apocalypse. And last but certainly not least, we have Tracy. So, welcome to Live from the Apocalypse, where we play tabletop role playing games to benefit nonprofits, aid organizations, and other charitable causes. If you like what you see here and you would like to subscribe or give us bits or something like that, we ask that instead of using your real money for those purposes, donate it directly to our charitable cause. Right now, we are funding for Planned Parenthood. So if in the chat you want to bring up a donation link, you can just put in exclamation point PP donate. Yes, it is funny, and yes, that is the actual command. If you do donate, you will get to see the McElroy brothers yell at us and interrupt whatever we're doing, which is fine. Uh, and there are other ways, of course, to interact with and influence the stream. You can donate to provide inspiration for the characters or to give players advantage, and all sorts of other things. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we're beginning our game in not the magical land of Oz, but instead its neighboring kingdom of Ev. Ev is a wealthy kingdom bordering Oz, one of its most important trade partners. It is ruled currently by Evaldo the Cruel, who, of course, nobody calls him that to his face, and nobody should call him that in front of, the Church of Ev, who worship the royal family. Uh, Evaldo has a whole ton of children and a wife, and is kind of goofing off and being a big old weirdo in the capital city of Evna. But most of that is not very interesting to our characters as we begin in the small town of Olivine. Olivine is a small, quaint village farming town on the border of the deadly desert that surrounds the magical land of Oz. Uh, it's far enough, Olivine is far enough from trade routes to lack a particularly solid merchant class, but it's close enough to trade routes that it's easy for farmers and artisans to sell their wares, and get them taken all around the kingdoms. Um, uh, Going back and forth from Ev, the kingdom of Ev, to downtown into the Gnome Kingdom, which is all underground. The There are artisans here who make beautiful blown glass made from the sands of the deadly desert in a secret ritual art form. As we begin, we are going to start off with two characters walking away from a jewelry shop. We see a man, and walking next to him, a paper doll. Andy, would you like to describe Barnum for us?
Yeah, so Barnum is kind of a tall, Uh, lanky dude with like just short cropped hair. It's probably about like 5'10". Plain features, brown hair, like brown eyes. He's got a just t-shirt, messenger bag, and like a little cap on as he's walking. And he's if you were just out and about minding your own business, you'd probably overlook him, and he's okay with that.
What kind of brown eyes does he
Yeah. He has very alert and observant brown eyes, like he's always watching for an opportunity.
Excellent. And walking next to him, Tracy, would you like to describe Effie?
Sure. She is I as Tracy am very bad at size of things and distance. So she's somewhere under a foot, but above around probably around 6 inches. Um, she has she has paper, but she has these wonderful, heavy shoes so that she doesn't fly away as easily. She also has what I referred to as blonde hair, if you know what that is, which is like similar-ish to what I have going on right now. Um, Coiffed just so, and has big. She has large. What did I say before? Eyes. Um, she's very resourceful. I think resourceful eyes. That probably doesn't make sense. Similar to that. Aware but very kind eyes.
I believe you had said thoughtful, contemplative eyes.
Yeah, that stands.
have? And utilitarian.
Yeah, these are all very descriptive ways of her demeanor, but her physical stance is very flat, if you will. So
All right, so you guys are walking away from this little shop in town where you had just been, you had just found something that you, Effie, that something that you needed
correct.
at this shop. And you were given uh, information on how you could purchase this, since the shopkeeper, I believe, quoted you an unreasonable sum of money for it.
Yeah, I don't really do money, so
I don't
so
quite,
we're
un-
leaving the shop.
I don't quite understand this city because everything's made of money, but somehow nobody has any money. It's so bizarre.
Well, that's because it's used for like literally everything else besides buying things.
Not fair. So, hey, so Effie, look, you need a Wampus? We got a Wampus. At least we know where there's a Wampus, right? So we can like make that happen. We just gotta,
Absolutely.
we just gotta make some small arrangements for the festival coming up, and it's bam, done, good as new. You got it in your hands, ready to go.
Fantastic. Do you have any ins with some of the people who are organizing the?
Yeah,
event?
Justin,
had
fucking
fun.
grip it and rip it,
Woo!
baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude.
Got a
Crack
donation.
one for the big boy.
All right.
Great,
So-
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I saw the name pop up for a second, but then it went away.
Yes, it was
So-
Haunted House of the Cell, donated 25.
Ooh,
So-
thank you,
That
Haunted
person?
House of the Cell.
Thank you, Haunted House. You're the best. Another awesome gamer. So, thank you.
Well, I don't have like an in per se. Like, I know a guy. I know a guy I can talk to for sure. We can make it happen. Give me like a day or two. When's the festival? Is it like next week? I lose track of
Yeah.
time.
You know that it is 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. Cool. That's perfect. Great. Yeah. It's like Barnum didn't care about the festival till just now. Beyond like some simple things, but now he's. Yeah, we got this. You and me together. Yes.
Wonderful. So, what do you propose?
Well, I can set up a meeting with a friend of mine, and then of course I think from there the two of you would probably be best to just head in and schmooze. He's like real into the classy stuff with that kind of festival, so I think it'll help kind of get the ball rolling in the direction. So, heck, I could probably. What time is it? It's early. We can. I can probably get him around out here for lunch. I don't know what his schedule
That
looks
sounds
like,
great.
but yeah.
I don't eat, but I'm
Oh,
happy to talk to someone whenever.
well, that's yeah, that's right. It actually makes it really easy to just like do luncheons with you. That's one of the things I like about you, Effie. Yeah,
It's useful.
yeah, 100%. Okay, yeah, give me like an hour or so. I'll go find him, and you can go from there. Of course, if you have any trouble, like, oh, he shouldn't give you trouble. He's a nice guy. His name's Alton. So Sir Alton, he prefers, but he'll hook you up. Don't forget the sir. He's real particular about that.
I won't forget.
But what else? How else can I help? Right? Like I said, I find you these things. We're making these things happen. Like what? Want to make sure I'm doing like my full end of the bargain.
I really appreciate that because I really do want the Swampus for Denton. I just I don't know if I know this city as well as you do.
I mean, it's all a learning experience. Until this morning, I wasn't even in the Wampus Market, and now look at me. Like we're just.
That's true.
He's gotta dive headfirst into it. So for serious though, like before I head out, you said you build stuff, right? Like you're pretty good at building things. I was really serious when I said I wanted to try to get out into the desert and do a little bit of traveling, right? So,
Right.
Yeah, I think it'd be neat to see kind of what's out there. So, we'll get this done, and then I'll try and do some, I don't know, desert vehicle building. Is that a thing? So there's probably a word for those things, but
As long as it's not a living thing, that makes sense to me.
yeah, I don't think you're allowed to build on living thing. I don't know. There are probably rules for that. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll give Alton a call, Sir Alton, and move forward. This is really, really nice to meet you. This has been a good time. He like gives you like a little kind of handshake, but then like just two fingers, like just shakes a hand, and is like, "All right, well," and just leaves.
Okay. And now across town, we're going to go to we're going to switch over to Melbourne. Melbourne, where are you in the middle of the day? This is sort of a normal day for you.
Well, since getting to the town, after spending so much time out in the wilderness, out in the magical lands forests, I spend a lot of my time trying to help the olive farmers here understand this little olive tree problem that they've been having. I have a way with um, vegetation. I have a way with trees. So I'd say that I'm probably doing something to help them out, either talking with them about their trees or maybe out in the olive groves, talking with them, the trees in that case, not the people.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
So, can you please describe your character for us?
Absolutely. Melbourne could be described as lanky and craggy for a winged monkey. Melbourne is a winged monkey. Um, and he has this like grayish silvered fur. He kind of seems like he's been kind of weathered. He seems older, but he's not as old as he might come off as. Which is sort of helped by the fact that he's pretty small. These winged monkeys are kind of spider monkey like, so they're not huge. He's he's got this these pretty intense looking yellow and violet eyes, and the grayish silvered fur. by being kind of lanky and like tall for a winged monkey, that's only about 27 inches or so tall. So he weighs in at about 25 pounds. He's not huge.
He's huge.
Compared to a paper doll, absolutely. So that was an interesting meeting when I first met Effie. But yeah, but great old wings to be able to help me.
Yeah, Justin,
had
fucking
fun.
grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
And determined. So there's a lot of determination in how Melbourne, what he's trying to do, and we'll get into that at some point here. But pretty placid. Like he's a pretty laid back guy. He's a very live and let live sort of monkey. So you know.
Okay. So you're
Got
hanging
another
out.
donation too from Julia. She just donated
Yes.
$20.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you, Julia.
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 Awesome.
So you're hanging out in the olive groves. You're talking to olive farmers. Now, are you in? Are you at Red Grove Oilery?
I think I am actually. That seems like a good place for me to be. Kind of midday on this given day in Olivine.
Okay.
And if I remember right, the Red Grove is a bit outside of town, right outside, like adjacent in
is.
town. Okay.
It's outside of town. All of the olive groves are outside of town. You need quite a bit of space for them. And this one is for folks who've never seen an olive grove. Olive trees, when they're under cultivation, are kind of little scrubby sort of trees with kind of gnarly branches and sort of a kind of a pretty silvery brown bark. And they're not particularly tall. They're sort of bushy, more so than anything else. And but compared to Melbourne, they're like trees. You know, they may only be like 7-8 feet tall, but for you, who's about 2 feet tall, that's pretty big.
Yeah. So I'm out there. I'm kind of spending my time either digging down kind of by the roots to kind of see what's going on down in the soil. I'm doing a combination of scrambling up the trees and climbing through the branches, or flying up to the tops to check out the olives that are budding. So yeah, actually, I guess pretty close to harvest, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the festival. So not just budding, but bearing hopefully more olives than they were before.
Yes, actually, we're sort of in the middle of harvest right now. What's your passive perception?
Ooh, pretty significant. I am an alert fella. 20 for passive
20.
perception. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Damn.
All right. So you are, you know a lot of things. You perceive quite a few things here. One of the major things that you sort of know, just walking through, flying through, climbing through, is that your presence here has dramatically improved the lot of these trees. They are, this is a happy grove.
I really enjoy that they're happier.
Yeah. This is a happy grove. It's not a, these are not trees that are going to talk to you unless you cast Speak with Plants. But you don't really need to. At this point, you have been in forests and have been around this sort of thing. You know the difference between a happy grove and a deeply unhappy grove.
The trees definitely make more sense to me than most people do. So yeah.
Yes. And speaking of people, one of the things you hear while you're on the ground, you're like digging in the roots, you found you found like a nest of something in the roots of a tree, and you're like, "Get the fuck out of there, you little varmint!" And you hear Everett Blaze, the owner of the Grove, walking through, talking about the festival. And he is started talking to one of his other employees and just saying, I don't know, I figure Evie's out there trying to get herself the absolute best table in the house. I don't think she's gonna manage it. I don't think she can possibly manage it. She's trying to run a shop, and she's trying to get a table at the Olive Fest. And she can't make oil. She can't make olive oil. She's the worst at that. You know what? I wouldn't even go to her for bruschetta. I wouldn't go to her for anything. Man, she's the worst. And you hear sort of the other employees going, yep, yeah, yes.
I immediately recognize Everett as blowing off steam as he usually does, and generating a lot of hot air. Yeah.
All right. So, he sort of continues. He sort of continues onward, and you kind of finish up your work in the Olive Grove.
So now, Evie, though, do I know Evie?
You would.
We can always jump into that later. I just I was looking through, and I wasn't sure if I'd heard of them before.
You would know Evie through the trees.
Oh.
Honestly, or rather, through the olive vine, as it were. You would know that she has a very small grove of trees. She's mostly makes her money through a shop in town that you've probably never been to, because why? Humans buy all sorts of stupid shit.
Now, would I know Evie as a better caretaker than Everett of the trees, or about the same, or like, how do I feel about how she takes care of her tree farm, her groves?
Give me an insight check.
Ooh. Let's see here. One moment. Inaugural rolling of the dice.
Yeah, first roll.
Oh, there it is. Awesome. So it's a 6 plus 3, so 9.
It's a 9. You recognize the name, and you have like an idea of like where the grove is. You don't really remember any impressions that you got. But Everett kind of keeps you busy. You sort of did like a little tour of the various groves, and he's just the first guy who gave you a job, and he kind of keeps you busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of what you know. She might be better than him.
Okay.
So you will sort of finish up your day working there, and then we are going to, as you're finishing up your work, we're going to shift our focus again to a small lean-to near not the olive groves, but to proper forest, where Elise is staying. Elise, would you like to, Joe, would you like to describe Elise for us?
Of course. Elise is seems pretty young. She is an albino. She seems to be human. There seems like to the common like passerby, um, albinoism is a thing. It's fine, but like there's like a strange aura to her. She's 5'7". She's a waifish frame. Her name is Elise Coldwine, and she wears like a simple sundress most of the time, which seems a little antiquated because she's seems to have like added like a high neck and lace sleeves to it. Um, she stares through the world with older eyes. Her eyes are pink, haunted but hopeful. Another distinct thing about her is she seems to have blackened hands, like from her hands up to like about halfway up her forearm. Seems blackened, like maybe she, like touched something very very hot and it just hasn't recovered from it yet. Um, and she's usually seen with a very almost too large rabbit skull with a black and gold candle dripping onto it. If she's outside and it's sunny, she wears a veil. If it's not sunny, she doesn't wear a veil. And that is Elise. She seems to be about 17. So.
Okay. And what is Elise doing around sort of early to mid-afternoon?
She has probably gone inside. She is a landlord. She kind of lives in a little lean-to next to like a larger home. But she goes inside for like meals and is kind of shy. So like sometimes she takes her meals into her little hovel, and so she's probably just kind of like eating indoors. But sometimes she kind of stands in the door frame and like parts the curtain a little bit to see if she can't entice somebody to come in and get some good fortune.
Okay. Okay. So while you're there, let me see here. While you are there, you're sort of finishing up your lunch. Your roommate, landlord, friend, Fenton, Fenton and Denton, that's not going to get confusing.
Nope.
I have decreed it. Your has sort of come by, checked on you, made sure you're okay, and then he's off to go do the guard work that he does.
Mm-hmm.
So a halfling woman actually approaches you. She's wearing a very it's not like overtly rich, but these are like nice clothes. Very pretty red dress. Her hair is very sort of neatly braided. And she comes walking up to you. She's got a little basket on her arm. And it's got like a couple little bottles of like wine and some loaves of bread in there. She's clearly just been to the shops, and she sort of stops, looks at your your
lean-to.
Your lean-to.
It's not that bad, but
she might be you get a sense she might be thinking hovel. But she stops and looks at your sign that says Fortunes Told, and she kind of sort of walks over to you. You have, how long has Elise been in Olivine?
I think we're going like almost a season. So like
Okay.
we're going into, I'm assuming, kind of a summer, right?
Yeah.
So like about 3 months, maybe nearing the third month, maybe.
Okay. Excellent. Harvest season, because I definitely did enough research to know what season olives are harvested. I did.
Well, this is Oz and Oz adjacent, so
Yeah, it's
play by our
fine.
own
It's
rules.
fine. It doesn't matter. So you of course recognize that this is one of the council members. This
Oh
is
man.
Mary Contralto. And she comes up and says, yes, I believe I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, Ms. Coldwine, is it?
That is my name. Thank you so much for remembering. Not many people do. They call me like, oh, the fortune teller, but I do have a name, which you've said. She kind of like pinkens, like, in just kind of like awkwardness, and she says, I know you're one of the council people. Would you like to come in?
Oh yes, I would very much like to have my fortune told. I've never done that before, and I think it would be just such a rip.
Oh, it. She thinks she's just like, in the back of her head, she's just like, fortune telling is real. Spirits talk to me. A rip of all words, and she's like, right, you are. Well, why don't you come in? Let me just part the veil before the veil is parted for you. And
she does that.
She doesn't roll her eyes, and she maintains eye contact and like lets her in. There's like a number of like little pillows that seem a little exotic, but it's probably because she has gone to as many people as possible and just asked for things to see if so it's a hodgepodge of different things. There's incense burning, there are candles lit, and of course in the center of her kind of lower table there's a disturbingly large rabbit skull. And she says, please sit down. My home is yours, and what is it that you would like answers to? Or would you like your fortune told? Is there something specific you have in mind?
Oh, well, I was just sort of wondering, like, what do you foresee for,
Yeah,
the
just
rest of the-
fucking grip it and rip it,
the
baby.
last year was
Slop
such a
that down,
disaster.
dude. Yeah, dude. Crack one for the
what
big
was her
boy.
name? She just kind of, or was it somebody else? Someone
It
ruined
was
it.
that.
We just
Yes, it was that awful man. That awful man that, gosh darn it, I have my
Let me see,
list
I might have them.
here.
I might have
Montaigne.
them.
Yeah, I'm
Morgan
looking.
Montaigne.
Oh, Montaigne.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
oh,
know how I
spelt
could
it.
possibly have forgotten that name.
Morgan Montaigne? I've only heard the worst things about him. I mean, I know for a fact. Well, I've never seen a self-flying kite in my life, but he brought droves of them, and they ruined the festival.
Dozens of self-flying kites. They were carrying off chickens and children and other people's tents, and he just ran away afterwards. It was a disaster.
Oh no! Did somebody die?
Oh no, God, no, not quite that disaster. Oh, no, Holy Family, no. No, no. Oh, goodness. No. All the children were found, present, accounted for, and, their skinned knees and shaken nerves patched up, though I suppose very few of them will be flying kites in the future.
That would be dreadful, she says, smiling. Yes, I can do your fortune. I can speak to the spirits and see what they have noticed in the ether. And she, places her kind of like blackened hands to either side of the skull, and a green flame kind of like lights up out of nowhere. And there's like a little bit of whispering around her, and she makes direct eye contact with Mary, and she says, "Spirits above and spirits below, please let us know what the future holds for the Olive Festival." What would you like me to do?
Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is this is
Oh, I think we do we want to use the rules we came up for it?
yes. So
Okay.
we've got two roles. One is a insight roll
Mhm.
to sort of read Mary and see
Mhm.
what she's. Unless you want to actually see the future, in which case you're going to need to use a spell.
I don't know if I have that
Or you're
spell.
going to have to consult. You're going to have to consult some additional spirits.
Got it.
Or you can do sort of the usual like fortune telling thing. So you're going to use an insight roll to see what Mary wants to hear.
Mhm.
And then you're going to use a performance roll to make this look cool.
Of course. Alrighty.
So let's start with that insight roll, and I will give you info on Mary.
Because the spirits do guide me, may I use the guidance of the spirits in the form of the spell guidance?
Yes.
Cool. That is hella high. 19, 21, 22, 23. That is a 24 for insight.
Okay. Mary is highly strung, deeply concerned with deeply concerned with the image of this town. She has an idea of how things are supposed to be, and when that's not the way things are, she goes a little just unpleasant. You know that she's afraid of something.
Yeah, Justin, fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
And his self-flying kites.
All right. Do you want the performance immediate, or do you want that later?
Yeah, go ahead. Make the performance roll now, and you'll use that to kind of inform how you're sort of responding to Mary, and go from there.
Well, that's a 14. Not the best, but it's fine.
Okay, 14 is fine. Yeah. So what do you say to Mary?
So she just kind of like she allows the
Oh yes. Also, sorry to interrupt real quick. Thank you, guest checkout, for your donation.
Thank you so much. We see good things in the future for you. So, Elise, so when I use guidance, do I only hear the spirits and like nudges and touches, or is it an ambient thing? Or real subtle, like you'd have to roll perception?
I'm gonna let you decide that.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna say is you got a 14, so that's good. That's definitely enough for someone to buy this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want you to tell me. I think you're gonna get to decide.
Okay. Cool.
Like what spirit was. It's gonna depend on the spirit, I guess, is really the answer.
Got it. She like makes eye contact and almost kind of like in the distance, you almost, or Mary might almost hear like a regal command of some sort, like something, an imperious voice, but indiscernible. And Elise says, "I believe we are in contact with the Regent." And she says that things are always under control, under your eyes. And she also says, so long as your presence is known, and you are present at the festival, then things will go well, so long as those around you heed your command. But she also says she knows of your fears, but she's being very respectful of you, woman to woman, I'm sure. Can you give me more details, and maybe she will loosen her lips?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, hmm. Uh,
Everything
I.
stays here in my room. Don't worry.
Hmm. We don't have any kind of privacy act in Ev to determine that. It's a fortune telling privacy act. Uh, here's the deal. Unfortunately, this is one of the problems of this game is that I am a parent and my child goes to bed. So we are going to pause on a
Cliffhanger.
cliffhanger for Effie, for Mary Contralto to tell you what she's afraid of, while I go sing a song to my toddler. So please, we'll take probably let's call it a 10-minute break just to be safe, and we will be right back. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Thanks for joining us. We will be back in 10.
Cliffhanger.
We're back.
All right, we are back, and we have ascertained in this time frame that you shouldn't 3D print people. That is the conclusion to which we came during our 10-minute break.
Mm-hmm.
3D printing people, it's just not a good plan.
Yeah, it seems
you
like
wouldn't download a car.
Wait. Is 3D printing a person a theft or just a crime against humanity? Like, what are we doing here?
Where do we stand?
I feel like we're getting so close to me making really terrible jokes about libertarians, and we really should just move on. So,
I mean, what's not to joke about?
We'll keep going.
We keep going.
Hi, Peach.
So, you have asked Mary. Elise has asked Mary to talk about her fear.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to make a persuasion.
I am an expertise in persuasion, and
Fabulous.
watch me roll terribly. We'll see. All right. That's still 17. I'll take it.
She, well,
I can't get her to speak unless you speak to your fear. I'm so sorry. And without that, I won't be able to help you.
I suppose we're far enough away from it. It's that statue.
Oh, the wobbly?
Shift.
Oh, Shifty.
Yes. Yes. I don't like it.
I don't. I think it's kind of pretty in the sunlight, but
in the sunlight? Yes, in the sunlight, it's fine. Have you ever seen it at night?
Have I ever seen it at night?
I mean, do you go to the town square at night?
Sure, for fun.
I would like you to describe Shifty, or what Elise saw Shifty as when she saw Shifty at night.
So my understanding is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Della and I'm sorry, Ozmaster and other players. Shifty looks like kind of modern art. It's like metal, maybe some gemstones or something in there. It might be kind of like a multimedia. Multimedia. There we go. But and it seems very pretty, and it kind of shifts around a little bit, like, depending on how you look at it in the sunlight. It's quite pleasant in the town square, where consequently the Olive Festival is held. At night, Elise has heard some rumors that it's uncomfortable to be in the town square at night. I think when she goes at night, maybe about 2 months ago, she thinks that she sees 3 haggard figures kind of circling each other amidst a small ember glow. And she immediately nopes out of there because it reminds her of some people she knew in the past. Oh, Shifty is terrible. You're not alone. Of course you're afraid of him. I believe everybody is.
I just know. I just know that thing is somehow it's going to cause a problem. I keep having these terrible dreams of the desert just pouring out of that thing. I just can't tolerate it. Oh, so I do hope the regent is able to say something about this.
Let me listen for one moment. The regent, she respects not only the authority that you wield, but also the vulnerability that you've shared. For that is the making of a strong leader. She says, so long as activities are done by sundown, you have nothing to worry about.
Activities done by sundown?
At least in the square, and perhaps under your purview, of course. Perhaps you move any nocturnal activities that were supposed to happen there to another venue. And she kind of like racks her brain for a second. She's like, the town hall, everybody respects you there.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, the town hall, perhaps even indoors, inside the town hall. Oh yes, we could arrange the foyer in such a delightful fashion with little. She starts going off about her interior decorating plans, and it's a solid 5 minutes of her twittering before she realizes that she's in someone else's home. And stops and is like, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, I can go on. Thank you so much, Elise. This has been fabulous. What do I owe you for the pleasure?
Whatever you feel is appropriate. And she waits because she grew up on a farm where bartering was the thing, so she doesn't know. She kind of knows the rules here, but she wants to see what she would do.
So Mary nods. Barter, as you know, from having been in this town for this long, barter is pretty much how the locals do most of their buying and selling here. Money is often used mostly between people who just don't have enough in common or don't have needs in common. But she sort of looks in her basket, and she's got a little jar of nice honey. And she's sort of looking in her basket, and she pulls out a bottle of wine, looks at you, and says, no, you are too young. You are too young.
You're like baseballs.
She says, yes, I have children too. And she hands you the honey and says, I am sorry, I did not think to. I really sort of came in here on a bit of a whim. I feel this is a bit of a meager gift, so please take this honey, and please also, if you ever need a favor, Just come talk to me, and I will happily do anything that is within my power.
Thank you so much. And she says she reaches out with like a blackened hand, which is like stark against the rest of her pale skin, and she like offers it so they can touch hands.
Yeah, she shakes your hand.
She kind of grips her hand a little bit, lightly, and she says, "The regent gives you her blessing," and I'm just going to cast guidance on her and give her.
Okay.
For the next 10 minutes, she's got a +1 to whatever she does.
All right.
Walking down the street, +1.
Yeah.
Looking for people in the eye, +1.
She walks out of there feeling great. And you now have a favor from a council person. You know, what Elise has always wanted.
She's like, this is useless to me.
Hey. At least the honey will
Wow.
be nice.
She puts the jar of honey like aside and like decides to peek outside to see if anybody else is around.
Okay. All right. After you guys split up, where is yes, badgering shop owners all day at +1. Mary is there. Mary, that's what they call a Karen in this town of Ev. They're a Mary.
She's contraltoing around.
Yeah, she's contraltoing around. What is Effie doing after she sort of split off from Barnum?
So Barnum is going to talk to his friend. I think Effie is still going to try and figure out where else she might actually be able to procure a Wumpus in an easier manner, and then decide to go forward.
Okay. Well, you are a woman of engineering and science, but this is Oz. You're a living paper doll. Why not try a fortune teller?
That sounds reasonable. Totally fine.
You know? So you see walking out of a sort of swanning out of the fortune teller's house. And now you haven't specifically met Elise, I believe, though you've probably seen each other in town. But you see Mary Contralto sort of swanning out, you know, her hair elegantly braided, sort of sweeping out all 3.5 feet of her, chin held high. She looks like she's, you know, feeling like $1 million. So maybe there's something to this. I don't know.
All right. Is there a door or is it open?
There's a curtain you have to wrangle with.
Oh, that's much easier than a door. Effie limbos the curtain.
Elise stares kind of surprisedly down. She's like trying to like taste a bit of honey, and then she like quickly puts it away. Welcome to my I've seen you around town. I don't believe that I've had the pleasure.
I'm Effie.
I'm Elise Coldwine. Please, would you like your fortune told, or are you looking for something specific?
Oh, I am. I am looking for something specific. How did you know? You must be really good at your job.
Oh, she like blushes, and she's like, "Do you need a hand up onto one of the pillows?"
Oh, sure, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
Elise, like at like before she reaches down to like help you, she like looks at the skull and the candle goes out, and she's like, no candles here, and she just kind of like puts out all of the candles and incense.
Sigh of relief.
And she helps
Thank
you up
you
on.
so much.
You're welcome. I can only imagine. I would be terribly afraid. You must be very brave if you're walking around. There's so many obstacles around town, I'm sure.
Well, where I'm from, it's not exactly like this. But there's a lot you have to get used to. I'm very thankful, actually. I'm very thankful for some of the experiences that I've had since somehow getting over here.
You
And
don't.
one of them was meeting a friend, and he's taken very good care of me. And I'm actually looking for a place to like a piece to help him upgrade. He's a wheeler. Um, so I was wondering if maybe you knew where to find a Wumpus.
She frowns and kind of like looks at the her kind of like a spell casting prop, and she says, "I don't know if I have the magic to do that, but I can certainly try." Um, have you tried looking around town already?
Only slightly. This is only my second stop. I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to help my friend is, and I do have someone who could help me potentially, but I have to do something big for her in return that
Oh,
I'm not sure I'm capable of doing just yet.
do you know what is it exactly that you have to do? Perhaps perhaps magic and fortune telling isn't the right tool for this, but maybe I could help you instead.
That would be so nice. She needs a prime spot for her stand, I guess it is, at the Olive Festival. I've not been to one of these yet.
Oh, and like if she like out of just kind of like dedication to the job, Elise, she's like, you can sit on the table if you want to, if you prefer. Um, it doesn't matter to me, but yes. And she like gives you another pillow so we can see each other. Um, and she sits down and like puts her hands on the table, and she's like, spirits above, spirits below, give us great fortune instead of woe. And then like there's like a susurrus a little bit, and she's like, I know someone that can help us. No payment needed.
Really?
Yes, I mean, unless you'd like to owe me a favor.
Oh, I'm extremely handy. Is there anything that you need?
She looks at the entire lean-to and she says, I'm sure I could think of something. You're good at building things? Like
Yeah,
better than...
fixing, mending, creating something where you didn't expect it, all kinds of things.
I would love your opinion on my state of affairs.
All right, I'm gonna look around and see if there's anything I can do like immediately. With the tool belt that I have on.
All right. You're looking around in here, and one of the things that you know you can do, that you've become very good at traveling these barbaric and savage lands outside of the Cut and Clip village, is finding and plugging drafts. This has become a massive survival skill for you. And because of your nature, you are very good at finding them. So you've noticed that these big people will allow little holes to develop, and they'll realize it's getting cold and it's getting unpleasant, but they won't seem to notice where they actually are coming from. You can figure that out. And you notice there's a couple places in here that where you're like, I could probably patch this up pretty quickly.
All right, I'm gonna go to it. she slightly hobbles over, gets out whatever her caulk gun-ish type thing is, and starts mending a small hole where probably big enough for maybe a mouse to come through even.
Elise goes over to a little basket and takes out a little white rabbit, and kind of watches you while she pets it. And
You're so creepy.
what are you? What are you up to?
I just noticed that you're probably getting quite cold in here because I know I'm a little wavery. So why not just fix that right up right now?
Oh, I didn't know that was coming from there. I thought it was. She almost says ghost, and she's like something else. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Whenever you're done, I think I can help you almost immediately.
Done is a relative term. I'm sure that I can help you a lot here, but why don't I just finish a couple of these spots and then we'll get on our way.
Oh, wonderful. While we walk, do you prefer to walk on? I've never met a living doll.
A cut and clip, yeah.
I mean, a cut and clip. Do you prefer to? I mean, do you ride in people's pockets or?
I can. I'm very small and flat, so that works. I also actually figured out that this would be my third gadget. Have some motorized wheels that can clip onto my shoes so I can travel slightly faster, but that's up to you.
Oh, no, I'd love to see that, but if you need to rest, I have a basket and lots of handy pockets.
I like baskets. That's a very luxurious way to travel.
She takes her rabbit and puts it out of the basket and puts the basket aside.
Effie, make an animal handling roll, please. Is that a thing in fifth ed?
Or
Yeah, it's totally a thing. I think it's
animal handling is a thing.
Oh yeah. Effie,
oh my god, it is. Oh, but it's wisdom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, whew. +3, so 7.
7 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rabbit immediately comes over. It's going to nibble on you. It's you are paper, and it is interested.
I've already dealt with birds.
Yeah. So, Elise, you do see this happen. You pick up the rabbit, put the rabbit down. The rabbit is immediately treats, and hops over to Effie.
Elise immediately tries to intervene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll animal handling to see how easy the rabbit is, but it's a rabbit.
There's a rabbit kind of.
And this is the end of Effie.
Then Effie was killed.
Effie were screwed. This is not good.
What did you roll?
I am being a bard. I am half. I'm looking for it. Where is it? Well, that's a 6, so lower than what you rolled.
Cool. Okay, so you successfully scare your rabbit away from. You were so shocked. You successfully. What did you try to do? What do you try to do?
Start clapping at it and running toward it.
Oh yeah, it freaks out and just straight runs away.
Oh, good.
It just books it out the door. It freaks out and runs away.
No. And she looks at Effie and she looks at the door and she's like, "You can come with me." And she gently picks her up in her veil and puts her in a pocket and then starts running.
All right. So you have I'm envisioning that this is she's sort of in there like a little pocket protector.
Yeah, and there's a button there.
Oh, that's better.
Okay.
So she can secure it if she wants to.
So it's like you got this button across you like a little seat belt. the top of the pocket like a little seatbelt. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, you guys are going to go chase the white rabbit. Andy, we go to Barnum, who's going to go meet his friend, Sir Afton. Ashton?
Sir Alton Edgewater.
Alton. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm getting all of the characters from our various games mixed up.
That's all good. A lot of characters, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think Barnum leaves his interaction with Effie, literally just walks down the block, circles the block, and comes back as Sir Alton Edgewater, having just ducked down an alleyway, and his messenger bag has been replaced by a briefcase now, and he's carrying an umbrella with a little bowler hat. He's actually got a pair of nice classy looking spectacles on. He's wearing a nice suit with a little button up, open at the top, of course, but with the option to add a bow tie and a pocket square for good measure, and simply proceeds to wait a little bit and then go to the cafe where he met Effie previously, as his assumption as to where she may be, because he actually doesn't know where she lives and never asked.
Yeah, and I don't know where to find you. So this
Yeah.
is great.
No, it's one of the look. Barnum's a lot of things, detail oriented, hit or miss. But yeah.
So Sir Afton is sitting in the cafe shop, and is watching the proprietor make his ridiculous concoctions. Waiting on Effie. Melbourne, where are you at the end of your workday?
Since coming to this town, Melbourne has become quite the cafe aficionado. There's this dark brewed stuff that where's the not Bim?
No, not Bim
Jack
Beringsley.
Helmsley? Jack?
Yeah, Jack Helmsley.
Jack Helmsley. Yes. Ends up making in his crazy, elaborate and insane machine that he's always clanking on in the cafe shop. So after a day of blissfully wandering through the trees and helping them out, and then in less blissfully dealing with Everett and his mediocre direction, I make my way to the coffee shop to get some of this sludge-like substance that I've grown very fond of, so I'm walking through. I have my satchel of cuttings and samples and things that I want to be able to look over for the evening, and my ever-present kind of overly large staff that I walk with. It's small, but it's big to me. And I enter the cafe shop. Cafe.
Okay. So at the cafe shop, you see Jack is at his usual place. The owner is a gnomish tinker, so like Effie, like the paper doll, wears a where Effie kind of wears this little paper belt. Jack kind of wears this almost bandolier of tools, and he is most commonly found either at the register or literally on top of his elaborate espresso machine, whacking it with mallets. Mostly whacking it with mallets. You don't usually see him attempting any other repair strategies, but it seems to work for him. So today he's got his goggles up on top of his head, and he's at the cash register. He's got his own little cup of coffee in his hand. He's like, "What can I do for you today, Melbourne?"
Jack. The brew smells amazing today. I would love a cup. That'd be phenomenal.
Oh, we got a good one. We got a good one. I roasted it myself. And I tested it on myself. So I know exactly how good it is. I know how it makes so much energy. So much energy.
That is wonderful, Jack. I'm excited to hear this.
He goes and starts manipulating his ridiculous espresso machine and provides you with your little cup. As you're looking around the shop, you see a fancily dressed stranger seated.
Melbourne is, yeah. He's glancing around. He loves the atmosphere of the cafe shop. This meeting Effie here originally, who is very mechanically inclined, and Jack always putting on a show. It's very different from anything he's ever come across before, and he almost finds that it's a mysticism he's not familiar with, and it's still wonderful. Machines are a complete mystery. And this fancily dressed this guy, have I encountered Barnum before in any form?
It's possible you've run into Barnum around town, although may not have been fully aware of it. You said you're carrying clippings from the olive grove?
Yeah, I've got like a little kind of openish like satchel. It's more like it's more like a small like hammocky type thing that I've got a bunch of stuff in there. Like it's not it's not like a paper bag or anything.
Oh, Jack, that looks simply delightful. If I could actually get one of those as well, and put them both on my tab. Good sir, please.
You
have
got
a
it,
seat.
Sir Afton.
Well,
Sir
Alton.
Sir who? That's
you got the sir. That's the important part.
very kind of you. Thank you very much. I don't believe I've ever seen you here in the cafe shop before.
I come here from time to time between appointments and important business. Sir Alton Edgewater, pleasure to meet you. And he hands you a card.
Pleasure. I take the card. I'm not entirely sure what to do with it, but I thank you. I look at it a little longer than one might expect, wondering about the stock and whether or not Effie might know something about it before putting it away. I don't know if reading is a big thing or not that Melbourne might do. Anyway, so
You can read.
Okay, sounds good.
Like that's not a that's
Yeah, it's a literal like business card that just says Sir Alton Edgewater on it. There's no additional information.
There's no title or
No,
anything.
just
Sir.
the Sir's in bold.
yeah.
So, sir, are you part of the court? I don't understand. I'm not from here originally. I don't really know how this stuff works, but
So it's actually a very long story as to how that developed. My family is, well, complicated, but intriguing. Please, have a seat. I'm more than happy to talk with you about it.
I climb up on one of the stools at the counter and settle down.
I always have time for someone. He points at your bag and just says, "You aren't by chance involved in the olive contest, are you?"
Oh,
Great affair.
Maybe not the contest, but I certainly have been helping out Everett over the Red Grove.
Yes.
His trees, well, the trees that are growing on the land he claims, they were just atrociously treated. I don't know what he was doing before I arrived, but I suspect his olive yield, his olive oil yield, is going to be particularly good this year, I hope.
Interesting. You think it might be good enough to land him that coveted center place in the festival?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. It could happen. It could happen. I haven't been here long enough to know what any of the other groves are like yet. So
Understood. I have always admired the Olive Festival from afar. My family was never something they couldn't compete in the same way. There's
Oh?
so many other issues.
Your family?
Yes, very distant relatives, unfortunately, from the far eastern side of the continent. But they can't grow things. They have, it has to be even worse than brown thumbs.
Wait,
Black
the
thumbs.
far eastern side of the continent. You've come a long way then to be here.
Oh, that's where my family's from. I'm not from there. Enough about me. I don't want to prattle on. So, how was your coffee?
I've yet to have a sip, and I better get to it before it loses that perfect temperature.
Of course.
Take a sip and savors it. Jack, that is delicious. That is just phenomenal at the end of a day. Thank you.
Gives you energy.
It sure does. I don't know what you put in this stuff, but it's pretty magical.
It's all in the beans.
Beans.
I admire your intensity.
I pause a moment, picturing legumes, and I'm wondering how this happened.
Pretty sure the main source is garbanzo.
Jack twitches for a second, and you get. None of you have seen him like go off on a rant yet, but you guys have met Tinkers before, and there's this very strong possibility that this man is about to explode in a Tinkerish rant about his subject. When in through the door hops a bunny rabbit.
That rabbit looks...
Skitters in.
Never seen that rabbit before in my life.
It stops.
Melbourne's ears twitch, hearing it come in. Something's odd.
It looks at y'all. Everybody looks at the bunny. And it, starts it freaks out. It starts just running all around the shop. It's, knocking stuff over. It's, just completely... it's realized that it is indoors now, and it did not want to be indoors, but it is a rabbit. It has a brain the size of a walnut. It does not know how to get back out again.
I
so
don't believe
confused.
that is an indoor rabbit.
Quickly, Melbourne does some druidcraft and causes the smell of a rabbit warren to be in the vicinity of the rabbit to try and calm it down.
Oh, okay. How's that work? What do you do to make that happen?
It's a cantrip.
Oh.
I think it just happens.
Okay. Okay, so that happens. Where are you sort of locating this
So I have
this
what is it?
bunny hominess?
I get kind of a
Home
5-foot range that I can do. So I like over in the the far corner, away from people. Let's say in the back, the rear of the bar. So not near the bar itself, where Jack and all the people are primarily congregating, but maybe closer to the window, away from the bar itself, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's skittering all over the place, rabbit claws scrabbling. It's making that weirdly loud, high-pitched that rabbits can do that you really wish they wouldn't do.
Yeah, just a rabbit scream is fine.
Just a rabbit scream. It's fine. I don't know if you've heard a rabbit scream before, but it's distressing.
It is.
And I really wish they wouldn't do that. But the best way to not do that is to not, harass the rabbit. So it's freaking the fuck out, and you do your thing, and it just responds by bolting over to that corner, and it starts kind of digging to try to get to into its warren. You, Elise, and Effie, you guys walk in, and that's what you see. It's the cafe shop is in sort of sudden, much more chaos than usual. You see Jack is standing on the bar, just like, everybody calm down. There's no need to panic. It is a bunny. And there's a whole bunch of people just like, oh, rodents, vermin in a coffee shop. Like standing up on tables and generally overreacting in a very
Melbourne would be in the process of making its way calmly, very calmly over to the rabbit.
Elise, am I in a pocket or am I like slightly out of the pocket?
You can choose. I was imagining like, you know, like a pocket on a dress, like a sundress, that has a button. So
Okay.
you can make your choice whether or not you like seal yourself in with a button, or just kind of like hang tight.
Ooh. I don't mind the idea of being like slightly out of it, but mostly in.
Yeah,
Because
you can see.
Yeah, that was more like, do I just hear screams or can I see what's going on?
Yeah.
Cool.
Elise looks down at Effie, and just kind of like does a like, I feel like we're the most intelligent people in the room kind of look. And she's just like, fair warning, I grew up on a rabbit farm, and no one acts like this.
Where I come from, no one acts like this either.
Well, at least we have that. At least we have that, she says. And she walks. Oh, Barnum. I'm sorry,
Hey.
not Barnum. I lied. Oh, Melbourne.
Elise, I thought I recognized this rabbit. Hi, hello.
Oh, you must be the rabbit's owner.
Oh, yes, this is...
This is my new friend, Sir Elton Edgewater, of a distant land, but from here.
I have a friend who was looking for you.
Ah, pleasure to meet you. Hands both Elise and Effie cards. My friend Bonham said I'm supposed to have.
Effie quickly actually fastens it around her waist and makes like a little skirt thing. It's very cool.
Yes. I believe we're supposed to meet up later today, but rabbit first, I believe.
Oh, yes.
The patrons don't seem to like it very much.
And
Jack has that look.
I produced the smell of a rabbit warren, which I hoped it would find familiar and maybe helped calm it down. I don't remember your rabbit's name.
Oh, Scout.
Scout. That's appropriate.
Good name.
I thought so. And she like attempts. Thank you so much. I don't know. I mean, it's one of the few people, well, animals, few things that I have to remind myself of home. And she like gathers it up. Effie, if you like, I can help you find that thing.
Yeah,
Curious
well, I am still interested, but that's actually part of why my friend was looking for Sir Elton.
That's I was not aware there was other business being attended to as well.
So I'm looking for a wumpus. I don't think anyone here has one. The only way I know to procure one, it's like kind of fleshy, kind of enamel-y, kind of mechanical piece for a wheeler.
Oh, that's terrible.
Slightly terrifying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody who wants to know if they know what a wumpus is, go ahead and make a knowledge roll.
You mean like a history roll, or?
Yeah, I guess you could make a history roll. Is there knowledge local in 5th ed?
There is not. You can
not
have
anymore.
You can have someone make an intelligence check with or without proficiency, and that'd be pretty on par with that.
Yeah, everybody make an intelligence check. Make an intelligence check if you think that your character might know things about wheelers.
I have a feeling
would this fall into Arcana at all? I'll just do it.
Yeah, it's not going to be Arcana.
I'll pass.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had some time since the last conversation about this, so I actually looked it up.
Okay.
Okay. So mine's just straight 13.
13. And what do you
Anything
got?
that I would have known about this would be from what I've heard here at the Kathy shop.
Right. You in your Melbourne, in your sort of sojourns around Ev and sort of the surrounding countryside, you know that that wheelers are not quite constructs and not quite creatures of flesh. They're kind of both, but not in like a cyborg way, in a much weirder way than that. They have a body part that is like a combination of a wrist and a gear that is very fragile. And you suspect that that might be what this Wumpus is.
Neat.
Okay. And
So-
Barnum, you looked it up and you knew this from talking to Effie previously.
Oh, is that like where their wrists meet the wheels? That is strange. That is wonderfully strange.
It is wonderfully strange.
Oh, this is a very complicated part.
So Effie, I didn't know you and Elise knew each other.
We just
don't.
met.
Oh.
That's good timing.
We do now.
I do now.
Oh,
And I'm going to help. I'm going to help her get a spot, or at least get the Wampus. I think. Actually,
So,
we might be able to.
One of the ways to get this fantastic part for my loving roommate is to get a acquaintance the center spot at the Olive Festival.
yes, Barnum did
Oh,
mention
wow.
something about that. We could easily petition the town council for a better spot for your friend. Of course, it will require a little bit of diplomacy and the right gestures, but I think we could make that happen.
I think that's an excellent idea, and what better time to get to the councillors away from the prying eyes of the entire town hall than just go up to them directly while they're shopping.
Now, I must ask. Well, I'll wait.
But if you must, you must.
And he like nods approvingly and like kind of has a quick aside with Effie and goes, I know you just met Elise, but how much do you trust her?
I
Oh,
actually
dear.
trust her. Okay.
It's not that subtle. You can definitely hear it.
Yeah.
I trust her probably more than most people I've met. She actually was considerate enough to blow out her candles around me.
Well, both you and Bonham have said good things about her, so I'm in.
Oh, you
She
know,
at least cares about my life, so that's handy.
Yes, that is a good quality in a friend.
and she like holds out like a pinky to Effie, and she's like, I don't know how you greet or show affection.
I again, like, as a paper doll, I just kind of like nod as one piece.
and she can like inclines her head too. I think we might be able to find Mary Contralto nearby. I thought
She
I
was
saw.
in a very good mood.
Oh yes, she like tries to hide a smile. Yes, very good mood.
She's whistling quite the tune as I saw her going through town.
While the conversation's happening, Melbourne seems focused on the rabbit and gingerly tries to pick it up and just kind of pet it.
The
The
size differential's amazing in my brain.
yeah, because this is a big rabbit, and you are not a big monkey.
Okay, maybe.
So no, you can absolutely do that. It's just like
I didn't realize this
it
was
looks
a large,
like Andy
yeah.
picking up Daisy. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what it winds up looking like. Is
Well, we'll do this a little differently then. I'll try and get the Scout to come over and start petting.
I like the
petting
idea
Scout.
of you picking up the rabbit.
I do too. I got to be honest.
All
I
right.
think that's,
All right, we'll go-
I think
we'll-
that's great.
We'll roll with it. Okay.
All right. What? Give me an animal handling roll, just to see what happens.
Who
Absolutely.
knew this role would be so important to this game?
Right, animal
The
handling.
one campaign.
15 total.
Good roll.
Well, Melbourne's a druid, so I was pretty sure he was gonna get it. I was pretty sure neither of y'all were gonna get it. Yeah. So yeah, the rabbit is just sort of like, okay, all right.
These
We're
inner
friends.
inner workings of these, trying to figure out how to get the Wumpus and how to get a table and all of that. This is not Melbourne's bailiwick, but he is into the rabbit, absolutely. And
Oh.
he's interested in helping his friends, but these details are not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot tip that I've learned from rabbit owning friends, animal friends. When a rabbit wants to a rabbit or hare wants to attack you and is feeling offensive, it literally does this.
I do that too.
Tracy in attack mode. Just,
Yeah, so it can eye you and
So-
kick you, but it also looks like, hey.
hi.
Really.
It's the cutest, most attack mode.
So good.
Thumping.
That might be the greatest piece of knowledge to come out of this game
It's awesome.
this far. That's
Yeah.
that's
Good night,
fabulous.
folks.
All
We're
right,
done
yeah,
here.
now we're done. We're good.
Yeah, that's
Thanks
it.
for your donations. We're out.
Yeah. And on that note about bunnies, yeah, you pick up the bunny, and the bunny, it relaxes and is chill. It's very soft. It's a very soft, very well cared for bunny. You get the impression that the person who takes care of this bunny, because obviously you can't just own a rabbit. Who would do that? The person who takes care of this rabbit is very good to it.
Very healthy, very happy.
Yeah, it's healthy.
Excellent.
It's happy.
Other than its recent stressful scenario that it went through, yeah.
Yeah, but you also know it's a rabbit. You're as a druid, it's a rabbit. Rabbits are not smart, so.
I sense that it's a little sad that that there was recently an opening that it was able to smell fresh air through, plugged in the lean-to.
Yeah, possibly it was like so yes, you've got the bunny, and you guys are strategizing about how to get the Wumpus.
Just in the middle of our wholesome scene and just fight everything. Let's just fight the rabbit.
Something. Oh, that was great.
I was expecting the wholesome gif, so I laughed when it was just
Oh.
skirmish time. Anyway,
Just
sorry.
wanted a mustache.
Also,
Good stuff. This is a good crowd.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in. So yeah, you guys are strategizing about your Wumpus acquisitions goals.
Elise says, I know very well that Mary Contralto is nearby, and I do think that if we just talk to her, she might give us what we want.
of course. Now,
So saith the spirits. She kind of rolls her eyes and kind of there's a slight whisper of her veil, but you can tell her she's kind of rolling her eyes and whatever. So
I'm all in. I believe everything you say.
now the only question I have is who are we putting in this prize place for the Olive Festival?
UV Low.
Ah, Miss Lowe.
She has exquisite glass. I don't know about her olive oil, but the container must be nice.
Her olive oil is not center stage, but
I perk up at this and mention, well, the grove I've been tending to this year might produce some amazing olive oil. I don't know if that's of interest. Everett Blaze would be happy to have a table.
Is he a good person or a bad person?
She
like gasps straight up, like sincerity in her.
I mean, I'm not very tactful here, so Everett doesn't seem to go to any extreme that would be either of those things. He is an extremely mediocre person.
Is Everett by chance looking for sponsors or partners in this endeavor? Because if he is making very good olive oil, and Miss Lowe would like, of course, a seat at the VIP section, then it stands to reason the two of them collaborating would result in both of them getting a very nice reward for their efforts.
I can certainly say that his olives are very good. Whether or not he's worth this praise and all that, I don't know. But yes, you might be right. You might be right.
Well, only one way to find out.
What way is that?
Let's go find Miss Mary.
Oh, okay. I think I saw her go this way. Melbourne, you've got Scout.
Yeah, Scout's very happy. You've done a great job.
Oh, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Would you like to carry him for now?
Oh yes, definitely.
Well, if we're all going in a group, do you mind?
Oh yes, please. And she opens up the pocket a little bit, and kneels.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got a human in a fancy outfit. We've got a albino fae in a sundress and veil. A flying monkey carrying 5'7".
Okay.
We have a flying monkey carrying a giant Angora rabbit. And we have a paper doll riding in the pocket of the Fae girl's sundress. All on a mission.
She's gonna do wheelies, so.
Yeah, I do gotta bust out my wheelies sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
My heelies, yeah, they're magical.
Yep, your magical heelies. You know.
Hell yeah.
I figure Effie can be super aerodynamic if she just turns sideways, so it's fine.
That's true.
It's also a good escape strategy. Like, where did she go?
Just go between
she vanished. Magic.
That's a party trick.
It is,
We've definitely done before.
Love it.
Okay, so you guys go away from the coffee shop, which is the coffee shop is kind of like on the square, right? So the town square, is sort of lined with shops, sort of on all four sides. And in the center is a big park. It's sort of a lovely green space. There are benches, there are trees, there's someone's attempt at a rock garden. There's like a little duck pond where little ducks are splashing around and playing and yelling at one another because they're capital D ducks. They talk. And that is their home. And they
they're yelling in a human voice, right?
Yes.
Yelling
Yes, yelling in a human voice.
It's they're capital D ducks and therefore they talk. It was like the
Therefore they talk. Yeah, of course they talk. What, the ducks not talk where you come from? Hey, the ducks not talk where you come from, say the ducks.
Oh.
What are you looking at? You gonna throw some bread? You gonna throw some bread at me? You ain't gonna throw some bread, you better keep walking. I'm gonna crap on your shoes.
Just throw some bread. Start walking.
Yeah. So...
These are very nice shoes. I prefer them not to get dirty.
Oh wait, but
Don't
also
bread.
isn't Shifty in the garden?
Yes, in the
Ooh.
center, in the
Shifty.
center of these beautiful walking paths is Shifty. Shifty the statue is a beautiful multimedia piece. In the sunlight, it's sort of these beautiful sweeping whorls of silver and gold and little studded gemstones all throughout. It's called Shifty, though, because it always seems to be just a little bit different every time you look at it. So, you guys are sort of passing through. A lot of people are kind of cleaning up in preparation for, it's still 2 weeks out, but there's still a lot of stuff that needs to get done. So people are kind of cleaning things out. There is an elf sitting by the side of the pond. Obviously, he's looking very serious. He's got a briefcase and a clipboard. He's talking to the duck and just being like, okay, I know this is a huge imposition. I know it every year we got to do this. But every year this has to happen. What do you need to make this work for you? And the duck is just like, well, you know what I need. I need you people to stop tramping around my park. This is my home, man. This is where I live. And in general, that seems like it's going about as well as it does every year.
These ducks drive quite a hard bargain.
I'm flocking here.
I'm flying here.
I don't know if we can get like a donation animation from flocking here.
Oh my gosh, yes. So the duck, and there's all the little baby ducks are sort of cheeping around and being relatively cute and fluffy and and all that. But as you guys sort of continue through the park, you pass by Shifty, and you see a couple of people like mowing the grass, like putting up banners, like sort of generally setting up. The Malchus has spent 2,000 inspiration for the duck, so the duck is now getting advantage in his negotiation with this elf. So that's great.
He's gonna need that eventually when he goes up against the boss fight, Mary Contralto, who's gonna
Yeah.
No.
He's gonna need that. Well, she's got guidance. I don't know.
Now,
Right.
I was lucky enough to see last year the escalation of the duck fights that occurred here, and I will say, stick around. This could, well, he should be fine. It's usually. I'm excited to see how this turns out. Sometimes clipboards are good weapons.
So a duck fight isn't like a figure of speech, no? Yes?
They're very aggressive ducks here.
I mean, where I came from, we had barn fights with the land.
I'd like to rephrase my statement, please. Thanks to the chat. They're very mighty ducks.
They sound so strong.
I'm really glad this is happening, guys.
Plot? What plot?
I'm really glad this is happening. Yeah, no, this game is about ducks now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the game I've always wanted to run. Actually, I would be fine with
That
that.
sounds right up your alley. Yeah.
I can't even lie.
If anyone would like to make a wager, I find that about 3 ducks per, person average size is about the right ratio. So I'd say 10 ducks could easily take down 5 people, though, this year. I think they're prepared for that.
Are we talking take down or pursue and thus make runaway?
Coveted in feathers is the default loss condition, I feel. But
Hey,
I'd
you
be...
guys. Hey, you guys.
One
What's
of
this?
the little ducks.
Hey, you guys.
Oh. Hello.
Oh,
Are
hello.
you gambling?
Uh,
Are you gambling in my park?
no, simply call it a friendly wager.
Because my daddy don't like gambling.
Is it gambling?
I suggest you takes it elsewhere.
Does he not like gambling even if we're betting for him?
I mean, do we get a cut?
Of course.
Sir Elton, I don't know about this.
All right, you got it. Well, he's busy right now, so why don't you guys, if you guys wanna do your gambling thing, your illicit activities, then you got to come back later tonight after we're done with our negotiations.
Of course.
Oh, of course, we would love to. Have you seen Miss Contralto around anywhere?
Oh yeah, the red dress lady. Yeah, we've seen her around. She don't like us. She don't like us much.
How disappointing.
She's real. She got bossy. She got bossy at us, and that's why we're talking to this elf now. But yeah, no, she's a kind of like gestures with a little wing. It's like, yeah, she was like rocking around over there with one of her kids.
Moments ago or an hour ago?
Oh, like moments ago. Minutes ago. No, not like I just saw her, but like I just saw her.
Then
Thank you.
Our presence will be known back here at night then.
Yeah, that's great. I'll
Oh,
probably
great.
be asleep. I got bedtime a little early, and Ma, she's strict about that.
Baby duck waddles off.
Oh, before you go, and I hand him a card. I hand the duck a card.
takes it in his little beak. And just goes, thank you, sir.
At least I don't know about coming back here at night.
I am not a fan of lakes, so
I'm just
Also,
happy that
Shifty-
I'm just
Shifty
happy
gets
that
really
I-
weird at night.
I would just say that, as my mother's said, to me, words are words, and it's up to the listener to interpret. I only said that our presence would be known.
I like the way you think.
that is a very, very different upbringing than I had. Not that I was brought up, but
Oh.
life.
I had very, very good mothers. And she stops herself, and she's like, "But we have a councilwoman to find."
Of course.
What's everybody's okay, so you guys
Perception.
Now is,
Yeah,
I think, the
passive
time for the Heelys because we're just going around the town square.
Yeah. Alright, so you're busting out the Heelys. You look
I mean, if we're really going to search for Mary, then I guess I'll put down Scout.
probably give him to Elise
Yeah.
instead of just putting him down because he's
I'm
one
not
who'll
comfortable
just
with him being put down.
I think that like Melbourne starts to put Scout down, and and Elise and Neffy are like, oh.
I trust the rabbit to be rabbit. I don't think about that. Here you go.
Yeah, you can trust the rabbit to be a rabbit, and it will get eaten by a hawk.
If it doesn't eat me first.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
It's a terrible way of thinking about things. This is not bad.
Druids
Alright,
are
what-
like that.
What were you asking, Della?
So how are you guys doing this? Where are you guys going? Are you just gonna sort of walk off in that direction, or you know,
I'm getting Healy off in that direction.
I
Healy in
feel
that
like her speed is probably better than ours at this point, right?
I think with her Heelys on, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I could fly up and see if I see anything
No.
from above. No?
Not until I'm far enough away from you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
The
right.
downdraft
That's right.
can be a problem.
I forgot. Not a big fan of wings. Wait, do I know why? Did we ever have that conversation? Does
I
Melbourne
asked
have...
you how they work.
Mhm.
Yeah, you had actually
Yeah.
that specific conversation.
Well, you
She
asked me how
you
they
not to
work.
flap.
And not to
Yeah.
flap, but I didn't know if she was bothered by the wings themselves or the air it produces or what. Like, I don't know if we actually talked about that. So okay, I just know she doesn't like it when I have my wings out. Okay.
No, you
Okay.
can have them out. You just can't like use them.
That's what she said. So you go running off, rolling off on your Heelys, and Melbourne goes zooming into the air. And we'll say you managed to do this without knocking one another over. What's your passive perception, Effie?
13.
13. Okay. So, Melbourne, you spot Mary Contralto. It's relatively easy to spot her from above because she is like this little dot of golden hair on a scarlet dress. And you see that walking next to her is a slightly taller, lankier, sullener halfling who's looks like one of her children. So you see her there with sort of leading, and you can hear as you approach her kind of lightly haranguing this teen in the standard mom fashion of,
I think I would probably go back and let them know where she is as opposed to approaching her myself. Because I'm not. Yeah, no, that's definitely what Melbourne would do.
Okay. So you go back and do that. Shortly afterward, Effie, you're able to kind of wheelie to healy up to her. And also, again, you hear her sort of nagging her child about his behavior in the clothing store, and why can't he just stand up straight when he's asked to, and so on and so forth. Is it a problem to get nice clothes? I just want you to look nice one day a year.
How far away is the rest of the party then? Are they?
What's your speed on your Heelys?
I don't know. We
didn't discuss that. Yeah, you
normally,
didn't
but-
actually. We didn't actually talk about those before
No.
the thing. You guys are not super duper far away. Like
I think-
you're all in earshot of one another.
Cool. So if I loudly am like, "Hi!"
Oh yes. She sort of like looks around and then looks down. Halflings are not particularly used to being taller than everyone. So she's definitely looking up before she looks and sees you. Oh yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I have some friends who know you and suggested that we come talk to you, but I haven't had the pleasure yet. My name is Effie.
Oh yes. It is lovely to meet you, Effie. How are you? She sort of she like looks around and then just sort of like shrugs, kind of like actually like kneels down next to you and sort of holds out a finger to shake. To sort of shake your hand. What can I do for you, my dear?
Oh well, I feel like you know my friend. Well, my acquaintance we just met. Elise?
Oh yes, Miss Coldwine. Yes, the lovely,
Yes!
the lovely fortune teller. Yes.
She's on her way over here now. So I'm not sure why she suggested we come talk to you exactly, but we are curious about placement at the Olive Festival.
Oh, placement at the Olive Festival.
Of all of the vendors, yeah.
Well, you know, as is traditionally, and you all can be hearing this as you approach.
Yeah, slowly just like casual up.
Well, traditionally, the tables are, you know, awarded according to, you know, the rank of the olive grower. So,
what determines that?
Well, the opening ceremony of the festival, it's all sort of kicked off, right, by a bowl and an olive oil competition, where everyone is, you know, their oils are ranked and tasted, and that is how we determine who gets what table. So, you know, the very best tables go to the people who have the best olive oil. Yes.
Actually seems extremely fair.
No, the process is, of course, very, very clear and very fair, and run by, well, very diligent and careful people. And might I say, ma'am, your diction is amazing, so elegant.
Thank you. Thank you. Many people do not take the time to properly pronounce things. She looks up at her son, who's just like, oh, whatever, Mom.
Looks at the kid and goes, "You should be proud to have a role model such as your mother."
Yeah, whatever.
Look up
dude.
to.
Your
posture could use some work, young lad.
You know, I was just saying that. You see? People can tell. Whatever, Mom.
Elise goes, oh yes. It's also just healthy in general. She's like, but you should stand up straight.
He looks at you, and you can tell there's like a sense of like he's about to go whatever, but then he's like, wait, teen girl. And tries to straighten up.
And she's like, oh, you're so much taller now.
It's cool.
And and she just kind of like adjusts her veil and turns to Contralto, and she says, Miss Contralto, I was wondering if, I know it sounds like tradition is very important, and I'm learning so many new things about your town, and I really am beginning to love some of the traditions. I know you talked about how the table is awarded, but I was wondering if you could award it to a friend of ours. And she like just kind of blinks her haunted pink but hopeful eyes, just as a favor.
I'm gonna need you to roll persuasion.
Can the spirits help me? Can I cast a guidance on myself?
Can I help out?
Yeah, go ahead, use your guidance.
Pages.
And I don't feel like anyone has used. People have gotten it. Have been given advantage. Well, the ducks have been given advantage.
Yeah.
Well, I got advantage from a Wilhelm screen.
Oh, do your thing. Then.
You did.
All
So
right.
yeah.
So let me. This sounds important, so I'm gonna do it on the thingamadoober.
Yeah. Roll on the thing.
I like how you open it and I can just see the green on your face.
Great.
Like, this
So
rolls
I'm
20.
gonna roll inspiration first.
Uh huh.
Do you have inspiration or you have
One.
advantage?
And then I'm going to roll 2d20s.
Oh, yeah.
And so my expertise is +9, so that's +10 plus.
Okay, what do we got for our...
I can't see the lower one.
Yeah, 12 and 16, so
And 16,
26 with advantage if you have a +10 to swing.
26.
God damn.
And she says,
That is most irregular. Well. You can see there's like a part of her that you guys can kind of tell, or those of you who care to tell, you can see that she wants to be offended by this, but there's a part of her that is so charmed by the directness that and the fact that you convinced her no good Nick's son to stand up straight, that she's actually considering this. That is most irregular. I suppose I could consider it. I could bring it up at the next council meeting. You see, I offered to do whatever was in my power, and in this case, I have, 1/3 of the votes.
"Oh,
On this matter. I will have to convince, that old fuddy-duddy Hank and that toucan Bim.
the one with the gambling problem." I mean, she stops herself. She's like, I mean, there's no problem whatsoever.
Alleged. Bim is the soul of propriety when he bothers to show up. I will have to take it to them, but, if they agree, I don't see why not. It's not like... and the teen actually sort of just says, "It's not like the competition has been rigged before." Shut up. Shut up.
Damn.
Of course it's not. Of course not. It's highly irregular. Highly. We must go.
Of course.
Yes.
There's-
We must go. I must go. You hear in the distance the sound of furious quacking. She's, "Oh no. I'm going to have to see about young Braden and how he's doing with the ducks. Thank you so much. It's lovely to speak with all of you. It's lovely to see new faces in town and to get to meet everyone."
Of course.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And she cruises away.
Elisa's
Well,
like,
that was interesting.
I
did expect
think
more
irregular is a
resistance.
bad thing.
All right, backup plan is that we just convince them all that it's the best olive oil.
How could we even do that?
I don't know. I don't taste things. Isn't there like a quantitative formula you can just tell me and then we can convince them it fits that profile?
I mean, I know some stories about olive winters, but they all end badly.
Oh.
But no, I don't know anything.
I
Well,
Do you think
I'll
our-
certainly do my best to help them make the best possible olive oil. Maybe it'll turn out good.
We can cover this on both fronts. Have actually good olive oil prepared, and also just, I guess, ask and nice our way into the good graces of the town council.
I mean, this is terrible, but I mean, I know a number of fables where the people or things or animals with gambling problems where it overtakes them and often distracts them from doing their actual job.
Ooh.
Near stories.
Well,
She smiles beneath her veil.
I can say for certain the allegations of BIM gambling don't extend to duck fights, so beyond that, I don't know their level of credibility.
So are you saying that if BIM didn't show up,
And maybe
this
he was
would be a good thing? I guess she would have 50% of the vote then.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
wonder-
devious.
Oh,
These are simply stories, she says embarrassedly.
I do have a friend who loves to party, spends nights out in the town. One of those people you could just spend hours with in a whirlwind and days of excitement, and, well, just forget what day or what week it is.
Is that friend alcohol? Or,
No, he's a friend who lives in town, but
not a metaphor. Got it.
Alcohol.
it's alcohol, yes.
Oh my god, please do it.
Albert Cohol.
Hello, how are you? I'm Alki.
Mr. Albert Cole. Of course, he does do best with a group, obviously, to get everyone else excited. Keep the energy level, right? I could introduce him to all of you. You seem like a, well, very fun party type.
I look very uncertain because I am sure I'm going to get wet and sticky if I go somewhere.
It's
Somebody put phrasing in the chat, please.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It would, of course, be out of station for me to party in such a manner, but I can definitely inform my friend about this. Albert, for sure.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Good. So you guys, okay, so what are you guys gonna do? It sounds like Sir Alton is going to find his friend. Wink. And Elise and Effie.
I literally am trying to think of a way that I could like laminate myself somehow.
Get like a little mini
Yeah,
raincoat.
you're a tinker. You can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm working through right now. Like, what do I have available that will make this interacting with these flapping wet ducks okay, or going somewhere to around a lot of sloshing drinks okay?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You are a tinker. That should not be too difficult for you. The way I believe that winds up working is you need to take a little bit of time, and you can essentially create a protection from water, like coating for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That would
cool.
that would work that way. So I think you need to take a long rest between now and then, but you should be able to get that done by tomorrow.
Awesome.
Melbourne.
So this is an unusual situation for Melbourne, but he's really taken by this eclectic group of new friends that he's going along with here. This is he wouldn't usually be up to the shenanigans anything like this at all. But he's gonna try and go back to the Red Grove and see if he can help the olive oil makers and provide a little guidance, perhaps.
So for the Red Grove to get the table, or for Evie to get the table?
Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, it was Evie that was trying to get the table. See, that's what Melbourne probably should have tuned in a little bit better back at the Caffey shop. He was really taken by Scout.
I'm gonna have you. Do you want to make a wisdom roll to see if he actually was paying attention enough to figure that one out, or figure out the actual plot? Or
Yep. We can do that.
Let's do it. Oh, you love to see it.
Not spectacular, but I do get a plus. Wait, is that a saving throw?
I believe you have advantage somewhere.
Or just a straight up wisdom? I have inspiration related to the trees. If we want to somehow work that in.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can roll an inspiration die. Yeah, and this is just straight wisdom. It's not a saving throw.
I was hoping because it was slightly higher for that. But I do get a +3, so it is a base of 10. How does inspiration work in 5th ed again?
You roll twice because it's twice as nice.
I think that's for advantage. I think for inspiration you get it's a D4.
So if to pontificate for 2 seconds.
Cool, please.
Yeah. Inspiration is a status you have that is binary in D&D 5th ed, where you can choose to, before rolling the dice, burn it to give yourself advantage, right? Now, advantage is something that comes from like help action spells, like positive circumstances granted by the DM, etc. But inspiration is something the player can use at any time to be like, I want this roll to have advantage because it is important to me. Yeet. Right? Now, that's raw. You can do whatever you want, but that's how they differ. That's how they differ.
Okay.
Okay. So I would say I'll do it now. I'll burn it now. But in the future, I will keep in mind that I need to make that decision before rolling a 7.
Okay. Yeah. Keep it up.
Yeah.
We are playing to find out. We are doing to learn.
This is fun over rules, right? What's the phrasing?
So the second roll is a little bit better.
Yeah.
The rule of cool? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is that? 10 plus 3 then? So 13 overall.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's enough. Yeah, you were tracking this enough, and
I caught myself before heading to the wrong place to help out the wrong people.
Yes.
Cool. So I'm not particularly tied. Melbourne is not super tied to Everett necessarily, but he is tied to the trees that the friends he made along the way. So he has no quandary whatever. No quandary whatsoever going and helping out Evie. So to help out his new friends.
Okay, excellent. Are you going to take anyone with you?
That's a great question. Who knows Evie? Not Elise. Okay.
I met her.
Oh yeah. Barnum and Effie did, but do you know Barnum?
I don't.
Melbourne met. Did Melbourne meet?
I met Elise. I met Effie. Okay. I don't think I met Barnum.
Nope.
No, you didn't meet Barnum.
Okay. That's okay. I'm excited for this because it'll be complicated for about 2 sessions, and then this whole thing will just fall the fuck apart.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm very excited.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for your whole house of cards to come toppling down.
It's great.
I'm absolutely going to help you build it as high as you possibly can, so that when it comes tumbling down, it's dramatic as fuck.
To the heavens for hubris.
Clarification: who did Elise meet session 0?
You met Barnum.
I met Barnum.
Mm-hmm.
I also met Barnum. Yeah.
I think I met a charming.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
Elise met Jamie.
Yeah, you're right. You met Jamie.
The most charming man forever.
I did not look at my notes. I just
he was
said
like
things with
Southern.
confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a Southern accent. Great. This is growing great.
This is gonna go great.
Okay.
I realize this is unsustainable. It'll come crashing down.
It's actually really funny. So we all know Sir Alton, but I know Barnum. Elise knows Jamie. And Melbourne doesn't know any of them.
I met Alton. Sir
Alton. He knows Alton. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's fine. It's
strange
fine.
and zapper fellow who's from far away but not from there.
Yeah, with a weirdly generic signet ring.
This is very well
He admires
compartmentalized. We're so on top of this.
Yeah. And then so I'm following here so we're trying to get Evie to win so that she can help provide the what's it called?
Yep. The Wumpus.
Okay.
Wumpus.
The Wumpus. Right.
Yes.
Right. Cool.
Fleshy mechanical thing.
So if somebody wants to introduce me to Evie, or I can just walk up and do some Melbourne schmoozing.
Oh God, I want to see
I
that.
kind of want to see that, honestly.
Yeah, I
Like-
gotta be honest, that sounds pretty great. Honestly, the idea of Melbourne and Elise going on the most awkward adventure sounds great to me.
Yeah, I'm very into it.
Unless, Elise, do you have something that you are planning on doing?
I mean, she could put her rabbit away in a cage, but it's more
A
fun having.
cage.
Oh, but Melbourne would be sad. Elisa's down to clown. Let's
I'm
meet
not-
strangers, she says.
I'm only sad for Scout if Scout is sad, and Scout is not sad, so it's okay. About the cage, I mean.
Yeah.
I
That's fine. Scott's fine with the cage. Cage,
Yeah.
cage is fine.
Likely
Keep you
keeps them
safe.
safe from more dangerous talking animals, maybe. But
Like those ducks. Don't mess with the ducks.
well,
Fights.
duly noted.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Could I
guys are
see
gonna
so?
go talk to. You guys are gonna go talk to Evie, or are you gonna go straight to the orchard?
Arnhem. I'm sorry, up to Melbourne. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Melbourne's intent would be so crafty as he is with people would just be to walk into his competitors' olive grove and offer to help.
Yeah. So at this at this point of the day, you get there and pretty much one of the things about this town is that this competition is pretty much the only competition, right? Nobody here is building like the fences are all to keep animals and birds out. Like nobody's really worried about people coming and going. This is a so you walking in is honestly nobody stops you. But it's also kind of like off time. So people are just kind of like getting off from work. Somebody who you know is a like another kind of just sort of freelance worker who just kind of goes around picking for people, kind of waves like, "Hey Melbourne, how you doing?" But unless you stop him, just kind of keeps on going.
Sure. So let's back up slightly. Did Elise come along, and how did that end up working? Because there's a good chance Melbourne would defer to her for peopling. But I kind of want to see like what's happening between the two of them on the way, right?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I'm gonna go talk to these folks over at the what's the name of the grove that what's her name, Evie runs?
It's Evie's, literally
Just Evie's.
EVs, not
Got it.
and she's taken. You would know this, Elise, that she has taken some flack by calling it EVs.
Because
it looks like
Ev.
Ev and the local like church is like sacrilegious.
Because they worship the family.
The royal family of Ev, and she like has made a couple like labels that are like too close to the royal seal, and so it
I dig the heresy.
she's not a heretic is what I'm saying.
Okay. Elise, would you like to come along? Go over to Evie's Grove?
Of course, yes. Anything to help a friend. And I wasn't getting a lot of, well, actually, I got the most visitors I ever had today. No, I'm happy to go.
Okay, great. I feel like I could use a friend along for the trip. So I have an unfortunate tendency to get myself into somewhat of social knots, if you will. So this I would appreciate the help.
No trouble. I mean, my mothers weren't particularly people, but I always worked the counter, so I know how to people.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I'm sure that fills you with confidence, she said.
Yeah, Malborn's disconnect is not your fault. So, but let's head off toward Evie's Grove. Definitely not Ev's Grove. Definitely Evie's Grove.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get there, what are we talking about?
Well, it's going to help them make oil.
Oh, that should be easy enough. I think everybody wants help.
Seems that way. I mean, I do work for their competitor, but I'm sure it's fine.
She's like, my mothers and I had we had competition for our bunny farm, and it did not end well. I mean, we won, but it did not. You should maybe choose your priorities.
Were the rabbits okay?
Oh no, the rabbits were fine. I think we took them in. She like thinks about it, and she's like,
I don't think any of the trees will get hurt.
oh, that's the important thing. Where I come from, trees don't talk. She says as if like sharing the biggest secret.
I look at amazement and wonder that how what?
Maybe they're really silent. Maybe they're happy.
Maybe. Confused, but let's move on.
Of course.
As you guys are walking through, you sort of leave the town square and you sort of keep walking or occasionally flying, gliding through sort of the more residential area of town. And then it very, very quickly becomes farmland. Evie's farm is very much on the outskirts of town. It's farther out. You pass the turnoff to where you go to get to Red Grove. You pass the turnoff to where you know that Hank's farm is, one of the other council members. You pass by like where like a couple other notable olive growers have their fields. And then you get to Evie's farm in the outskirts of town.
Skirt.
Thank you, Joe. We're all evening people. We all get a little punchy after 10 o'clock.
Oh my.
So you pass by all those, and you're starting to actually get to a point where you're like starting to feel like that really dry desert air. which Melbourne, have you ever seen a natural desert? Has Melbourne ever seen like a normal desert?
Nope.
Okay.
No. Nope.
Okay. Well, then you do not have context. And I know Elise hasn't.
Nope. Only unnatural deserts for me.
Only unnatural deserts. So for you, the familiar, very normal feeling of kind of like the breath being kind of sucked out of you, as if it's drawing more from you than anything you've ever felt before. You know, desert.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like getting the wind knocked out of you forever.
Yeah, exactly. You know, normal desert air. So you get there and you get to Evie's grove. And like I said, it's kind of like time to go. You know, your sort of coworker kind of waves at you, sort of like nods to Elise, sort of respectfully.
Hey, do I know their name?
Dwight.
Dwight. Hey, Dwight. Do you know where they're making the oil?
Oh yeah. It's the big barn.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Just keep on walking.
Do you? I mean, we're all like, it's like all locked up for the night.
Oh, is nobody in there now? Nobody's pressing the oil or getting it ready for tomorrow or.
I mean, nah. We've pretty much shut everything down for the evening, but I mean.
Oh, you know where the oil maker is? Do you know who's doing that?
I have pressing business with her. She says mysteriously.
He rolls his eyes. He says, "I'm sorry, I'm not rolling my eyes at you, miss. You know, it's just, you know, she's up our butts all the time, and like." And then we get to the one time of the year where we kind of like need her like guidance and input, and she's just gone. She's just, I have no idea. We can't get in touch with her. It's obnoxious. I'll tell you, it's obnoxious. It's unprofessional. I'll tell you what, your boss has never done that to us. I mean, he's not a great guy. He's not a great boss, but he doesn't just like
he doesn't disappear. If anything, he micromanages a little more than he needs to. But you know, yeah.
He does do that.
All right, but I mean, so is she the one actually pressing the oil? Is she the one? She's the one doing it, or she got somebody else on it?
It's kind of what we're all doing. All doing. You know, she's got some kind of secret recipe she wants us to use with like blending different pressings and which kind of refining process and yada yada. But you know, it's not like she's telling anybody that because it's secret.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was hoping to lend a hand. You know, I heard maybe she's got a good shot at winning this year. So you know, just maybe help out with the olives and help out getting the oil out.
I don't know where you heard it was going to be a good year for her, because I'm in there, and you know, look, I know you've got kind of like your thing with the trees and all that, and you know, respect your spiritual beliefs and all, but you don't have to have some kind of spiritual connection with trees to know that this place is not doing great.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll help out. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the trees just need a little talking to.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue. I get a bonus. I get a bonus if she wins. You know.
Hey, that's nice. That's great.
So I would. I'd love it if you helped out. I'm not holding my breath though. I'm not holding my breath. But if you can, shit. If and excuse my French. If anybody can do it, I bet it's you.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's great.
So she's not present.
No.
But you seem to be the senior foreman.
No, I'm just like a guy. I'm just one of the guys who runs the press. The foreman. If you want to talk to the foreman? That's Tom.
Foreman Tom.
Yeah.
And is he a good person or a bad person?
Well, he's complicated person. So I feel like this depends on a lot of definition. He's a construct. So some people are weird about that sort of thing. So if you're like weird about that sort of thing, maybe like leave him alone, because like he's a good boss.
Oh, you respect him.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to. It's not like you can go like knock off for a beer after work with a steam powered guy.
Oh,
so it's not like we're like social, but Tom's good. He's definitely not the worst boss. I've not the worst foreman I've worked for, certainly.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm just a picker. I pick the olives. I put them in baskets. Sometimes I turn the big press.
Sounds exciting.
So fast.
So, all right. I mean, thanks, Dwight. Thanks for letting me know. At least, I kind of wait for Dwight to move on.
Dwight just sort of waves. He's like, yeah, have a good one.
Have a good one, Dwight.
Everybody, nobody else even really looks twice at you, sort of like being here.
So I don't know. I was thinking, I mean, I don't really need their permission to go talk to the trees. I could just go help out that way. But I guess we could go find this Evie and see about helping her that way. But it seems to be like they can't even find her, and she's being all secretive about what she's putting in this stuff. I could just go help the trees, I guess. I don't know.
That's true. She like is there like a barn where the press happens and whatever?
Yeah, you see there's a couple smaller outbuildings, and there is a large barn, which is clearly has it's a little bit more built up. It's clearly more designed for real work to be going on in there.
It's a very impressive barn. Whatever you think is the best. Honestly, Malvern, I think you could have probably handled this all on your own.
I thought you'd be here,
It does sound a little irresponsible. I would hate to help the wrong person.
It is a little weird, though, don't you think? Being all secretive and doing something special with the oil. But I don't know. All these olive oil makers seem to have their. It's highly competitive, right? So I don't know.
I've heard stories of locked places where secret things go on. Sometimes it could be interesting.
That's true. I don't know, maybe we could just go look in the barn and see what's up.
Let's just go look in the barn. She starts walking.
Okay. Yeah, Melbourne shrugs and says, all right, and just kind of follows, This is like, place of work type for him. Wandering into places just seems like no big deal.
Absolutely. And you are not, while you're not super familiar with this exact place, you're familiar enough with things like it. You've been working at one of these, you've been working at a press for long enough. You kind of know what you're looking at, what you're looking for.
Sure.
So you get to the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize for the extra sound.
Is there a microwave going on? What is that? What is happening?
No, that's our laundry. I'm gonna shut the door.
You're reaching into a cloud.
Reaching into the cloud to our laundry is directly next to our computer room.
Try
your laundry is cloudy soft.
Trying to ignore the weird noises coming from the Tom Struct.
Yeah. Yep, the Tom Struct.
The Tom Struct.
So you guys can absolutely go look into the barn. They told you it was locked up for the night, and you see that basically there's a simple padlock on just like a barred door, but there's also like windows and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's see here. What would Melbourne do? We try to. Would he have a good idea? So these places aren't really known for being like usually super like lock and key secure. Would he know just a typical place? Like, yeah, most places hang the keys over by the farm door or something like that, like a nearby house. Would that seem to follow or no?
You would know that typically, yes, there's places where spare keys would be hidden. But you know that, and you sort of check all of them. And along with Elise. And because Elise, you've grown up on farms as well and sort of had to lock up barns. And so there's a couple places that Melbourne hasn't thought of where you're like, yeah, I'd totally hide a key here. But you don't find anything. And then sort of you both kind of go, oh my gosh, the foreman's a construct. He's not going to forget his keys.
He's going to have it on or in.
Yeah. He probably is the key.
Oh, well, this is disappointing. I mean, we could break a window. Do you know how to fix windows with magic?
No, don't. Are there any open windows on like the second floor?
Give me a You've got a 20 passive perception. Oh, give me a perception roll. Give me a roll for it because you're actively looking.
Okay. I can't actually see what that is.
17.
Okay. And I get a +5, so that's 22.
Yeah, turns out there is it's relatively high up. But there is a window that you could get up to that is approximately Melbourne sized.
Cool. I will fly up through the window. And see if there's it's probably like a padlock or something on the outside, isn't there? Maybe I can open one of the other windows for Elise to get in better down on the ground floor. So,
yeah, there are bigger windows that you would be able to open.
All right, hold on, Elise. I think I see an open window up there. I just shoot up into the air.
Before you go, she's just kind of like whispers in your ear, like right before you take off, and she's like, "May the spirits and stories you've heard guide you," and you have guidance.
Ah, yes. Yep. Thank you.
Okay.
I feel awesome. Nice.
So I would like you, as you fly into this space, to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my. Dude.
Ooh, getting spicy.
I don't know if guidance helps with that. I think that's a skill check.
I can look at that.
Yeah, if it's just a straight up saving throw, then 16.
I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah.
One only creature, D4 to 1 ability check of its choice.
Okay, it's ability check, not saves.
I mean, that save is still a wisdom check.
An ability check would be like skill based, so strength, dexterity.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure if skills and saving throws were all based on ability scores, so I wasn't sure if it.
Well, saving throws are their own thing.
Correct. Ability checks and saving throws are different categories.
Yeah.
Okay. So right, it's an ability check though, right? So you have the abilities. You know, wisdom is the ability, and then you have skills that are based on the ability, and you have saving throws that are based on the ability, right? That's why. I don't know this. I'm not arguing it. I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah. I think I also might. Yeah.
Checking one more thing real quick, just so I get my.
I am okay with failing. I was just
No, that's fine. Honestly, actually, I mean, you pass either way, but I think it's good to get adjustment on this ruling. But because you pass either way, I am going to wait briefly for Joe to get back. Since Elise is in this scene, we can kind of keep looking this up.
Cool.
So.
So the different. Sorry.
Go ahead.
They differentiate ability check, attack rolls, and saving throws. So ability checks being things that roll off of your base abilities but are into like skills themselves. Saving throws being a subset of that, basically.
Yeah, saving throws are separate.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So, you fly in to this space. And you hear a voice. And it starts off very quiet. And it sounds like crying. And it gets a little bit louder and a little bit louder. And you start to feel tears almost forming in your own eyes. And you realize you recognize this voice. It's a voice you haven't heard in a very long time. And it's something that you heard last. You did hear crying. This is your mother. And you hear this weeping, and you hear her call your name. You hear her saying, Melbourne, where are you? And that's where we're wrapping tonight. Yay! All right.
Excellent.
So we're wrapping in Spooky Barn, lamination process, and quick change.
Man.
I already have a character. Wow. They are ready to rock. To guide you through the, party world of F.
You had a problem and you found a new persona, and so now you don't have a problem.
Right. It's so simple. You just change everything about yourself when you have a problem, so your problems can't follow you.
So easy.
Mm-hmm.
All
I don't know
right.
why
Well,
more people don't do it.
yeah, it seems like the most obvious solution to me.
I don't know if you guys name your episodes, or maybe that's something we'll do later. Is this episode called, and I'd love to ask the chat, is this episode called something else or The Spooky Barn?
The spooky barn.
The Spooky Barn.
Which
I like
is
Spooky Barn.
very, like, Goosebumps or Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Spooky Barn.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna name it, we have to work the ducks in.
I feel like that's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's. I feel like that's. Episode 2 is going to be The Secret of the Spooky Barn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you guys just barely walked into the Spooky Barn in this episode.
Oh, true.
So I feel like Spooky Barn is next episode. This episode, I think, is probably, I'm flocking here.
Flocking here.
Yeah. River Road intro episode. I'm flocking here.
I'm flocking here.
I'm flocking here. Oh,
All
so
right.
good.
Okay, well, thank you guys in the chat so much for joining us. I really hope you enjoyed this. Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite.
Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks. This is one of my absolute favorite stories, universes to play in. You cannot see it right now because it is winter, but I do in fact have a full sleeve tattoo of the Wizard of Oz. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope you join in next time, which will be the
16th?
2 weeks from today. Yeah, that's the 16th.
Week and math.
Please tune in this Saturday when you will be seeing me again, this time as Jaxper in Nephilim. I'll be online on Sunday. I said Saturday,
Sunday,
didn't
yeah.
I? It's Sunday. It's definitely Sunday. Don't tune on Saturday. I won't be here.
It's late. There's a Spooky Barn.
There's a spooky barn. There's a spooky barn. There's crying mothers. It's
If you
a
show up
whole
on
kettle of
Saturday,
fish.
there might be a spooky barn.
There
You
could be a
don't know.
spooky barn.
Yeah.
It's
And
just,
no one around.
it's just we're streaming a creepy barn. I mean, I'd watch it, but
Yeah, we're all gonna go up. We're all gonna go up, and this is just gonna become live streaming the Murder Barns of Maine. That's what we're doing.
ASM Barn.
I love the alliteration. I hope that's real. Also, I hope it's not real.
Yeah.
No, it's just Maine.
That's just, yeah.
It's just how it is. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thanks to all who donated. Thanks to all who didn't donate but tuned in anyway. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know, Andy, if you found us a place to raid or if we're just signing off.
I did find a couple people online. So we're going to raid good old Surhooper 55, who's playing some Lamplight Horror TTRPGs right now.
Heck yeah.
So we'll check that out. Also, I think tomorrow we'll be playing either some Beholder or some At Death's Door. Death's Door seems kind of cool because I can just be a crow who's running around looking for lost souls who were supposed to be taken to the underworld and that got lost, and now that's my problem. So that looks interesting. I've never played it before. And then, yeah, great first episode. So thank you, Della, for running this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Della.
So,
Thank you so much.
Very glad to have done it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for playing.
This is...
but don't go anywhere. We're going to raid and just say hi, throw them a follow, and just hang out for a bit if you can. Just help build a community. Parting words for anybody?
I love the whimsy with just a little bit creepy. I love that. That's great. Which is very typical Oz, from what I understand, right?
Pretty much.
Crimsy?
Pretty much.
Is that a thing?
Crimsy.
Is Crimsy a thing? It's a thing.
Grimsy.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I like Grimsy.
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 That's how
There
people
it is.
describe Shifty. It's just Crimsy.
Grimsy.
Grimsy,
Grimsy
yeah.
is
Yeah,
a better
yeah.
title for today.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yep. An introduction to Grimsy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well, thank you guys, and let's head on over to Sir Hooper 55.
let's do it. All right, we're going to hit the thanks for watching. You'll hear a little bit of music, and then boom, we're out. So thank you for watching.
Bye, y'all.